You're about to meet the son of one of the co-founders of Hamas, Mosab Yousef. He was indoctrinated from the moment he was born to hate Jews and to believe the state of Israel should be targeted. Now, he's actually been in prison with Hamas brothers, living their brutality, even to each other. So where does he stand now? Well, you're about to find out because he is here in the flesh. I have a hard job tonight because I'm going to try and make sense out of nonsense. This is the first show ever for Dr. Phil Primetime. First show ever that I'm shooting in Texas, so I'm thrilled about that. I love this country. I love it for what it offers and has offered to me and most everyone I know. I am proud to be an American. I stand up and put my hand over my heart when our flag passes and they play our national anthem. Now, is America perfect? No, of course not. But it is the best country in the world, the best civilization with the best ideals. And it bothers me when I see and hear people, even our leaders, apologizing for our country, apologizing for our success. We got to be who we are through hard work and by having the courage to deal with the truth. And truthfully, there are things going on today that I find incredibly unsettling, things I never thought I would see and hear in my lifetime. To put it mildly, we've got issues. There is a cancer of hate growing in our great country aimed at minorities, none more than that directed at our Jewish brothers and sisters, and nowhere worse than on our university campuses among our supposed enlightened young people being taught by those we apparently are stupidly paying ridiculous amounts of money, thinking they might actually educate rather than indoctrinate these young people. Now, this was brought into sharp focus following the horrific attack on Israel October 7th by the terrorist group Hamas, whose stated mission in writing for the world to read is to wipe out every Jew on the face of the earth, beginning with Israel. Targeting unarmed, non-combatant civilians, they invaded and raped, tortured, murdered, and kidnapped women, children, men, including burning and mutilating infants in their cribs and violently raping young girls as young as 10 before murdering them. So what happened? Well, shockingly, anti-Semitic incidences in this country skyrocketed 388%. 700% on campuses where these murderers were actually being celebrated. And university leadership is and was allowing it. I'm talking about hundreds of openly anti-Semitic student organizations. In fact, I called for the resignation recently of 3 university presidents at elite Ivy League universities after they were grilled by congressional lawmakers over questions regarding the presence of anti-Semitism. Take a look.
The rules around bullying and harassment are quite specific. And if the context in which that language is used amounts to bullying and harassment, then we take action against it.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
The answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill.
Context.
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 Context. Well, 2 of the 3 presidents of Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania have resigned. I have a hard job tonight because I'm going to try and make sense out of nonsense.
This latest regional tension was sparked by the Hamas attacks on Israel.
In less than 30 days of the October 7th attack, news coverage almost completely flipped the script from the undeniable reality of Israelis being the victims of a horrendous terrorist attack by Hamas to now being characterized as the aggressors for retaliating and defending itself. Despite being attacked and invaded first, now Israel is being heavily criticized for its actions. First the media, and now world leaders are calling upon Israel to initiate a ceasefire. A ceasefire exactly like they had October 6th, before Hamas terrorists invaded, tortured, murdered, and kidnapped Israeli citizens. Am I right? Is Hamas a bunch of crazed killers? Well, you're going to get to decide because you're about to meet the son of one of the co-founders of Hamas, Mosab Yousef. He was indoctrinated from the moment he was born to hate Jews and to believe the state of Israel should be targeted. Now, he's actually been in prison with Hamas brothers, living their brutality, even to each other. So where does he stand now? Well, you're about to find out because he is here in the flesh.
My name is Mosab Hassan Yousef. I grew up in Ramallah as a member of Hamas. I am the legitimate child of that conflict. When I see all the wrongdoings and manipulation, this has to come to an end. Hamas must be finished this time. Israel must execute top Hamas leaders, especially the mass murderers. No exception. That includes my own father, the co-founder of Hamas movement. Everything we breathe in that culture is Islamic ideology and hatred towards the Jewish people from day one. My father's purpose in life was to destroy Israel. Hamas' tactic is to create this climate, chaos, violence. If there was no violence, it's not going to work. When the first Palestinian Intifada started, it sounded romantic. From the rivers to the sea. From the river to the sea means literally to ethnically cleanse the Jewish people and their state. Hamas is not good news for the Middle East or global security. They're very dangerous and they are on a mission towards destruction.